All right, so here's the first project of the break. This is the lumber I was able to get from my parents' house. Every project starts with a sketch. So here I am grabbing my notebook and ink pen. I couldn't find the pencil that I thought was out there, but here I am sketching out the bench. I knew that the tree that I was making would be pretty simple. And then I moved down on the steps just to see how high I wanted the bench, because I want to make sure it's comfortable getting up and down. So nothing too low that'll make your knees work too hard. So I measured all of that out. And then here I am actually measuring the boards. I have one, I don't even know the size of the board. It was something, maybe like a 4x8. But it actually wasn't 8 feet. So I measured it out, started to keep it full length, but decided to cut off, I think it was like 9.5 inches instead of whatever would make it the full 8 feet. Yeah, it was 9.5. Anyway, I ended up doing all the measurements, and here I am cutting off that 9.5, those 9.5 inches, and then here I am with the 2x4s. Cutting off, I forgot the length that I did here, but anyway, I cut enough to do what I thought would be 4 legs. You'll see later in the video that I ended up only using 3, but cut them all off and then cut some smaller pieces to attach. I was going for rectangles, so I needed to cut 2 long sides, 2 short sides, 4 sets of that, so that I could make 4 legs. So here I am trying to figure out which screw would be the best. I had, I think, 2.5 inches, 3 inches, 3.5 inches. And just from doing some previous projects, I realized that the length of the screw actually does make a difference. So I tested a few out, well, just kind of held it against the board to see which would be best. And here I am putting that together. I did decide to pre-drill the holes, because that does make it a little bit easier, and I think it helps to avoid the board splitting. So I pre-drilled some of the holes and then went ahead and made all 4 of the legs. I only caught one on video, but it was the same process over and over. I did end up doing it on the floor because it was much easier than doing on the table. So here I am trying to figure out the position of the 4 legs. The 2 on the end, I have them about 2 inches from the edge. When I measured from the inside of the 2 end legs, it was 61.5 inches. And so I was trying to figure out, where do I put the other 2? And I remember making a mistake in the division. I was writing out, I was like, this is why we need to learn how to divide and take our time. Whenever I'm doing projects like this, I always think about the school aspect of it, because that's important. When kids are learning, sometimes they want to know, why do I need to know this? When will I ever use it? So in doing a project like this, division is important so that you can evenly spread out the legs, which helps to evenly distribute the weight of the bench. Because I want to make sure I want to make sure the bench is capable of holding 2 or 3 adults. So anyway, enough school talk. I finished with the bench. Here I am with the simple Christmas tree. It was simply taking 2 2x4s, screwing them together at the top, taking another, putting it across the bottom to make somewhat of a triangle. And then I took 2 smaller pieces of 2x4 that I cut earlier in the project, and I needed the legs because I did need this to be freestanding. And so got it working. Here I am in my backyard positioning this. I actually have a fence, you can see over in the left, that covers my backyard. So I angled it using the trees in my neighbor's backyard because I like the greenery a little bit better, or a lot better actually. So put that up, and I knew I didn't have all of the decorations that I want for this because I need some garland, I think, to wrap around the tree to make it look like a tree. But I just put up some of what I had to see what it would look like, and I think it's a nice setup. Even with what I had, it came out decent. It's not, the final product, of course, but this is just things I had around the house. So I'm gonna get what I actually need, set this up. I'll be looking for a person or possibly even a family to do a test photo shoot with, so I can make sure it's what I want. And then I'll start advertising. I think I'm going to try out Christmas minis this year. So if I get this on my phone, imagine what I could do with my camera.